Our Constitution is over 200 years old, and our world has changed an awful lot since then. Can you imagine what the Founding Fathers would think if they knew that we flew in airplanes like birds? I bet Ben Franklin would have loved hearing about it, though. So the founders knew that over time, even though they couldn't imagine what might happen and what technologies we might have and how the world would change, they did know that it would change. And so we learned yesterday that they put a whole article in the Constitution about how to make changes to the Constitution or amendments. Now remember, we learned yesterday that the word amendment means to make a small change to make something better. So the founders found a way to make a whole plan for how to make those small changes to the Constitution to change it over time. Right off the bat, right away, even before the Constitution was signed, there was a plan for a set of amendments. That's crazy. They hadn't even signed the Constitution yet. But it's true. They knew that the Constitution itself would say how the government would work, how the president would lead, how the different people in Congress would be elected and things like that. But they also wanted to make sure that the people had certain rights. And that's a really important thing. And especially was important to those founding fathers because they had just come from a time when they were under British rule and the king wasn't giving them the rights that they felt that all people should have. So we're going to read this story called The Bill of Rights by Norman Pearl and illustrated by Matthew Skeens. And we're going to learn a little bit about the background of the Bill of Rights and a little bit about some of the rights that we have under the Bill of Rights. As soon as it lets me, there we go. Oops, turn the page. All right. My name is James Madison. I was the 4th President of the United States. I am often called the father of the Constitution. The Constitution is the basic plan for how the American government works. The Constitution includes the Bill of Rights. Let me tell you the story of the Bill of Rights. What is the Bill of Rights? Americans love freedom. The country was created with the idea that people are born with certain rights or freedoms. The Bill of Rights is a list of some of the most important rights. A young nation. In 1776, the American colonies broke free of British rule. The colonies set up a new government. Americans fought long and hard to win their freedom. By 1787, many people were unhappy with the government that had been created for the new nation. 12 of the 13 states sent delegates to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to work out a better plan. The 1787 meeting in Philadelphia was called the Constitutional Convention. A new constitution. The states sent a total of 55 delegates to write the Constitution. The group included George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and Alexander Hamilton. James Madison was a delegate from Virginia. The Constitution describes how the U.S. government is set up. It explains how laws are made and who makes them. It also describes the president's job and the role of the U.S. courts. But many leaders thought the Constitution should do more. They thought it should explain and guard the freedoms of the American people. Writing the Bill of Rights. Some of the people who wrote the new Constitution wanted to make sure people's most important rights were protected. They later made a list of freedoms to add to the Constitution. This list became known as the Bill of Rights. It was a list of 10 amendments or additions to the Constitution. The states had to accept the Bill of Rights before it was officially added to the Constitution. 10 important amendments. The Bill of Rights includes the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. The rights it protects are still important to every American. No matter who is elected to office, these most basic freedoms remain. The Bill of Rights was approved on December 15th, 1791. Every December 15th is Bill of Rights Day in the United States. First Amendment. The First Amendment protects the right to free speech and a free press. In the United States, people are free to say what they think. Newspapers do not have to be approved by the government. The First Amendment also allows people to hold meetings and to worship as they wish. We're going to learn a little more of that in the next few days. Second Amendment. The Second Amendment protects the right to bear arms. This means people are free to own guns. Third and Fourth Amendments. The Third and Fourth Amendments protect the right to privacy. The government cannot post soldiers, post means house soldiers in the homes of American people. Also, police cannot enter or search homes without a good reason. Fifth to 10th Amendments. The Fifth, Sixth, Seventh, and Eighth Amendments protect all people accused of crimes. These people have a right to a fair and speedy trial. They also cannot be punished in a cruel or unusual way. The Ninth and 10th Amendments explain that Americans have rights other than the ones listed in the Bill of Rights. Freedom with limits. Freedom is important to the way of life in the United States, but freedom has limits. Americans are not free to harm others or to take away others' rights. For example, people cannot yell "fire" in a crowded movie theater if there is no fire. Doing so would be dangerous for other people. They might be hurt as they tried to rush out of the building. Americans hope to balance each person's rights with the rights of others. Seeing the Bill of Rights. You can see the Bill of Rights. It is in the National Archives building in Washington, D.C. The Bill of Rights is kept in a large case that is bomb-proof and bulletproof. The Constitution rests in the center of the case. On either side lie the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. In 2003, a new display area opened at the National Archives, and it is where the Bill of Rights is today. Armed guards watch over the case because these documents are so important to Americans. Like the other documents, the Bill of Rights is a symbol of freedom. The United States was built on the idea of freedom for all people. Later amendments. The Bill of Rights was a great start. However, as time passed, Americans saw that more freedoms needed protection. Over the years, more amendments have been added to the Constitution. Some of these later amendments helped give freedom to all Americans. For example, one amendment freed African American slaves. Others made sure that all men and women had the right to vote. I hope you enjoyed the story of the Bill of Rights. A total of 27 amendments have been added to the Constitution. And here we have our Bill of Rights facts. James Madison originally wanted 12 amendments added to the Constitution, but only 10 were approved. The National Archives, where the Bill of Rights is on display, holds more than 10 billion documents and 30 million photos. Nearly 3 million charts and maps are also kept there. Adding an amendment to the Constitution is not easy. While just 27 amendments have been approved through the years, thousands of other amendments have been proposed. During World War II, in 1941 through 1945, the Bill of Rights was stored in a vault at Fort Knox, Kentucky. The government wanted to keep it safe in case the enemy attacked Washington, D.C. All right, so that is an overview of our Bill of Rights. We're going to take a closer look at some of those different freedoms that we have that are promised to us in the Bill of Rights over the next few days.